Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Young, Wild, and Adulting podcast. It's March. It's fucking March. Can you believe it? Okay, I feel like January is one of those months that takes forever to go by because the new year rang in, you're trying to figure out your New Year's resolutions, you're trying to figure out your new routines, if you moved, if you got a new pet, if you got a new job. Whatever the case, I feel like it always makes January go by very slowly, but then February always goes by in the blink of an eye. For whatever reason. For no reason. February always flies by. But now that it's March, we have a lovely, sweet little vacation coming up called spring break, where everyone is kind of sick and tired of school at this point. I remember sitting in all of my classes and the only thing that I could focus on was everything but class. In my senior year, I was looking forward to graduation. I was trying to figure out my graduation weekend plans. I was trying to plan what to do with my family in my head. I was trying to plan what dress I was going to get for graduation if I hadn't gotten my dress yet. Junior year, I was thinking where the hell had time flown by that I was all of a sudden going to be going into my senior year. My brain was not in class mode whatsoever. By the time spring break comes around, even though you feel like you just started the semester, because typically semesters always start the weekend after Martin Luther King Day, I think. Yeah, Martin Luther King Day is always on a Monday. So typically we always started school that following Tuesday. Every school is going to be different, obviously. But I'm pretty sure it's that Tuesday for most schools, unless your school is different. I apologize. I don't know every single school's schedule. Give me a break. But even though we came back to school that following Tuesday, it still feels like an eternity for whatever reason. As soon as you come back from winter break till spring break is probably the longest time of year. Fall break always usually kind of flew by for me because there were so many different events going on. I also love tailgating and I also love football games, so I was constantly looking forward to a game every single weekend. So I guess I had too many things to look forward to, whereas maybe that's why. See, sometimes speaking it out loud maybe just makes it make sense sometimes. Maybe that's why. Because you have nothing to look forward to between the time you come back from spring break. Between the time you come back from winter break to spring break. It's just a straight shot all the way through. From the time that you get there to midterms, and then all of a sudden spring break is right after that. I think I just cracked the code. On why it sucks, besides the fact that the winter uglies come in, and everybody's depressed as fuck, because you're just waiting for the warm weather. You're just waiting for graduation. You're just waiting for your summer that you can have for a little bit if some of you are going to summer internships. Because you have summer for about that long and then you leave for your internship wherever you're going. But I digress. Since spring break is right around the corner, I thought from a big sister to a little brother, whoever is watching this podcast, or because I recently had a conversation with one of my clients about this, if you're a big sister or big brother in your family and because you're the eldest daughter or eldest son and you didn't have anyone to look up to, allow me to teach you all of the things that I wish someone had told me when I was going through it. As I say in every single episode, but this one specifically, please learn from my mistakes because this is just a boatload of information of kind of miscellaneous things that I tried to pare into 3 separate sections for today's podcast. But I wish someone had told me all of this before I went through it because learning it, when I had to hit the ground running, learning it was not fun in those moments. Was it a lesson learned? Yes. Is life going to throw some lessons at you that you need to learn in the moment? Yes. It's for character development. It's for personal development. Sometimes I feel like God gives me a little too much personal development and character development, but you know what? It's for the plot. So I'm going to go through with you all the things that I made mistakes on, all the things that I wish I could take back, and all the things that I wish someone told me when I was going through it. So let's dive right into today's podcast. Number 1, when you're looking into flights, I want you to, 1, look in a private browser instead of just the generic Google, DuckDuckGo, Bing, whatever if anyone uses Bing anymore, whatever you're researching on, always go into a private browser because every single time that you go into one of the websites, no matter if you're looking on a generic one off of Google like Expedia or you're going into each specific airline website, whether it's Southwest, American Airlines, Delta, whatever the case, every single time that you go in there and click on it, it's not going to ask you for a login information, obviously. So every single time that you go into that website, it's going to think that you're a different user, aka you're a different person. So since it's thinking you're a different person every single time that you're going into said website, it's going to kind of have a panic, if you will, thinking that there are too many people trying to look at one flight or trying to look at flights to 1 or 2 different destinations. and it's going to skyrocket the prices and adjust the prices to what it wouldn't have been 2 minutes ago before you jumped on those websites and you keep clicking back and forth looking at the different tabs. Even if you're just hopping back and forth, you have your computer open, you're hopping back and forth between tabs. Say one is Delta, one is Southwest, one is American, but you keep flopping back and forth between all of them, it's going to think that you're a different person every single time you click on it. There go your chances at finding cheap airplane tickets. And then tip number 2 I have for you is I want you to go into said private browser and I want you to look up, if say you're looking at round trip tickets to Florida, specifically Miami, and you live in, I don't know, Michigan. You're going to, instead of looking at round trip tickets on one airline's website, I want you to look at different individual flights to specific destinations and or hubs that a connecting flight normally would go to. This is how you're going to save money. You're going to look at flights from, say, you go Michigan to Charlotte, and then you buy a separate flight from Charlotte to Miami. So save yourself the couple $100 and just buy tickets from one destination to another, or maybe do some research and see which one is the cheapest. So say you're going from Michigan to Florida, and like the example I just gave, the round trip flight option that is the most popular was to Charlotte. That's how you know to look at flights from Michigan to Charlotte, buy that separate ticket, and then buy a separate cheaper ticket to go from Charlotte to Miami instead of the round trip ones. Just save yourself the money. I promise you it works. A side note to that, I also want you to make sure to research what method of travel is going to be most financially responsible and reasonable for you and your friends, or whether you're going with a friend group, a significant other, whoever it may be, because sometimes driving to your said destination is going to be a lot cheaper than flying to your said destination if it's within reasonable hours away. I understand not all of you are going to love sitting in a car. I understand most of us are not going to love road trips. I unfortunately have learned to love road trips because I've done them my whole life, but it's also my fault considering that I'm the one that decided that I wanted to go to college 7 states away from my home state. When I decided to leave little old Connecticut and go all the way to Virginia for college, that's an 8-hour drive. That's about an 8 to 8.5 hour drive. Did I do it multiple times a year? Yes. Did I have to do it back-to-back weekends when I only had Thanksgiving and Christmas break? Or Easter? Yes. I drove every time. I didn't fly. Why? Because from where I was in Virginia, it would have taken me 2 hours to drive to either the Richmond airport or Dulles or Reagan, or an hour to Charlottesville. Charlottesville is a very small hub. I would have had some kind of connecting flight because Charlotte did not go straight to Connecticut. And then the Connecticut airport, Bradley, for those of you who live up in Connecticut or traveled through it, was 45 minutes away from my house. So in my head, if I'm spending all that time in the car anyway, between flights, I may as well just hop in the car and drive 8 hours home. But that's me. Everybody's different. So for those of you who don't think that 8 hours is an unreasonable amount of time to drive, especially for a road trip, example, I had plenty of friends that drove from Virginia to Florida for spring break because it was about anywhere between 8 and 10 hours, depending on what area of Florida they traveled to. Now, that's not saying they drove to Miami. If I was to drive to Miami from where I am now, I would probably guesstimate around 14 to 16 hours. I could be wrong. Actually, let me look. I was close. 14 hours and 59 minutes, so basically 15 hours. That's a very long time. That is a very long time. But you know what? Some people did it. Some people definitely did it. My whole point behind this is if you enjoy a good little road trip and you don't mind being in the car for 8, 10, 11, 12, 14 hours, and it makes more sense for you financially to spend, depending on what type of car you have, $30 to $60 for gas every time you have to stop, whether that's 2 times, whether that's 3 times, you're still saving a lot of money because we all know how extremely expensive plane tickets are. For whatever reason, plane tickets have skyrocketed thanks to inflation. You would like to save some money and spend more of it at whatever location you're going to. Maybe see if it makes more sense to drive and spend the money on gas, spend the money on road snacks, spend the money on maybe if you're going to stop at one hotel, depending on how far your drive is, or not at all. And then you're only spending money on gas and food. And that's it. Whereas plane tickets could be a couple $100 or $1,000 or more if you're going internationally. So just think of that next time. All right, number 2. This one may hurt a couple feelings, a couple girly feelings probably. Not so much the guys, because I really don't think that the guys care that much. My girls, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You don't need to buy a whole new wardrobe just because you're going on spring break. I know. I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. I've been there. I've been with you. I was you. I was that girl. Sometimes I still am that girl. But I understand where you're coming from. If it makes more sense, if you have the finances, honestly, go do it. Ball out, be you. I'm always an advocate for be you if you have the finances to do so. I love a good outfit just as much as the next person. But if you are someone who doesn't have that much financial leeway or leniency towards yourself, maybe if you want some new clothes, thrift around. Hop over to, what is that one store that's near campus that pretty much every college campus has near it? Plato's Closet. Thrift around. Maybe go to Plato's Closet and get a very cute, I don't know, they probably don't sell bikinis because that's gross. Why would you want to wear a used bikini? Please throw them out next time. Don't be one of those people that sells your bikini. That's disgusting. If you use it, I'm not calling you disgusting. I'm just saying if you have worn it, especially if you've worn it many, 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 many times, please just throw it out. Please throw it out. But regardless, going back, if you're someone that would like to buy a new dress, some new shorts, maybe some cute going out tops, maybe some new slides or some flip-flops or whatever the case, see what you can thrift through places like Facebook Marketplace, Plato's Closet, other thrift stores around you. Going back to Facebook groups, most colleges actually have a buy, sell, trade for students page on Facebook. I utilized that to the best of my ability every single year I was in college, whether it was desk hutches, textbooks, clothes, room decor. There were so many different options in there. Use it to the best of your ability. But yeah, if you can save money doing those things, highly, highly, highly recommend, because you want to be saving more money to spend at said places and locations that you're going to. So put a little pin in the back of your head for that one. And finally, for the topic on money, budgeting, etc., learn to do more things by yourself and learn to be more self-sufficient. What I mean by this is, for my girls, get your girls to help you out. Maybe buy a cute little $20 to $50 Amazon set to do your nails. Or buy the $5 press-on or stick-on ones at Target because they're going to fall off anyway. Think about how many things you're going to do on spring break that might chip your nails. Again, this is coming from someone who did 2 spring breaks. And I fully remember how upset I was when I used to mess up something that small. Now, in hindsight, looking back at it, it really wasn't that big of a deal. But at the same time, when I was in college and I was spending $45 every single time I was getting my nails done, 1, stupid, especially if it was every 4 weeks to 6 weeks. 2, I really didn't need to get that upset about it. But at the time, that was a lot of money for how much I was spending, for how much money I had per month to spend from my own accounts. So, learn to be self-sufficient. Do these things on your own. Buy the $5 nail kit at Target, or you and your friends buy that little gel nail kit that is going around Amazon and learn to do it on each other instead of going to buy it and then you're wasting money on the $40 to $60 or $80 if you're getting, or $100 if you're getting your manicure with tips and toes done, because I've been there. It's really expensive. They look great. But nails, learn to do them yourself. A brow lamination. There are apparently kits on Amazon. Learn to do that yourself. Apparently there's a lash lift and tint kit on Amazon. Also learn to do that yourself. Hair dye, leave that one to the professionals. I would not recommend doing that yourself. Okay, next on the chopping block, we're going to go through a little checklist of everything that you should do or should cover, glance over, complete, get done, regardless, before you leave for spring break. Number 1, most importantly, and I don't think enough people say this, bring cash with you on spring break. Whether you're going internationally or somewhere nationally, always have cash on you. I know we've all been brainwashed into thinking of just keeping Apple Pay or our credit cards, our debit cards. Cash is extremely important to have on you for a multitude of reasons. But to just name a few, in and out of taxis, not Ubers. Before you guys come for me, I said taxis. Random little things at gift shops that you probably don't want your credit card or debit card company having access to, especially if it's a little sketchy. And whatever payment option you see laying out there, the card reader, typically they always scam your cards in those tiny little gift shops anyway because they just want to steal your information. Just have some cash on you. So if you want to buy a cute little knickknack, even if it's just a $10, $20 t-shirt or a keychain or a bottle opener, please just buy it with the cash. You never know who you can trust on whatever card reader they're using. Everyone is trying to scam everyone for information and identity theft these days. Please just use the cash. Same with food. If you're buying a $2 hot dog, just pay in cash. Basically, the reason I'm saying this is the more places you use your card, 1, the easier it is for someone to track you. 2, the more places you use something, the more opportunities there are for someone to steal your information. Sorry, I'm just looking out for you. Cybersecurity girl on this side, I'm just looking out for you. Checklist if you are traveling out of the country. I have a pretty decent list here, so please stick with me. Number 1, like I said, this is for traveling internationally. Call your credit card or debit card companies, call your bank, let them know where you're going, what country you're going to, let them know the hotel or resort or Airbnb address you're staying at. If you do not call your card companies and they all of a sudden see suspicious activity, like say you're a student at NYU and you travel to Jamaica for spring break. If your bank and your credit card company is used to seeing your activity in the New York area and then all of a sudden it's in Jamaica and you didn't tell them that you were leaving the country, they're going to think that your cards were stolen. They're going to label them as suspicious activity and they're probably going to shut down your card. And then you're going to be sitting there, whether it's in a casino or in a restaurant or in a bar somewhere, and you're going to be scream crying on the phone to your parents saying, "Why are my cards shut off? I don't understand." Hate to be the one to say it, it's your fault. You didn't call to let them know you were in a different place, so they were just looking out for you to make sure no one was stealing your money or your accounts. It's not the bank's fault, it's your fault. It's a simple 5-minute phone call. You just call them up, you say, "Hey, I'm going to be in said location," so they know the kind of area of the whole country you're going to be in so that they will know what is they can label suspicious activity and what isn't. Do yourself the favor, save yourself the heartache, and please just do it. It's an easy 5-minute task to get done before you leave. Please do it. Number 2, be sure to check wherever you're traveling to if you need any kind of visa to enter said country, whether it's a health visa, whether it's a vacation visa, whether it's a work visa, if you're staying there long term for, I don't know, an internship or something, but this is mainly for spring break. So typically I'm just going to say a health visa or a vacation visa. The reason I say this is, for example, my junior year, I went to the Bahamas for my spring break. My junior year, that would have been March of 2022. I'm old, I know, don't come for me. March of 22. So we were still leaving the aftermath of COVID. Yes, stay with me now. Were we required to go online and submit a negative COVID test? Yes. But you needed a vacation visa to be allowed into the country that they had to scan. We were in the airport. You could not leave the airport and get into a taxi until they scanned it. So thank God we knew to do that beforehand and print them out. That's another thing to remember because sometimes they won't scan it on your phone because they might think it's a screenshot. They might think you stole it from someone. Print it out. And they had to scan it before we could leave and go find someone to get in a taxi and take us to our location wherever we were staying. So put a pin in that, remember it, learn from it, do it. Going off of that, I don't really think we're in that era anymore, but if you're going somewhere that needs or therefore requires you to wear masks or quarantine for a certain amount of time to enter said country, please know that beforehand. We had to do that when we were going to the Bahamas, and I had to wear masks on the plane when I was traveling I went to see my sister in Italy for my senior year spring break. She was studying abroad in Sorrento, so I had to fly out of Dulles and I flew into Istanbul, and Istanbul's I don't know if it's the largest airport in the world or if it's like top 3. It was huge to me. It was the biggest one I've ever been to. But we didn't have to wear masks entering the plane from Dulles into Istanbul. But before we got off the plane in Istanbul, we were required to wear masks in the airport and walking around the airport. I don't know if they did that for cleanliness and hygiene reasons or if they were just doing that because of COVID aftermath. But regardless, just know these things about wherever you're traveling to because it will save you the heartache when all of a sudden you get to said location. They're like, everybody put their masks on and you're digging through your bag pretending to look for masks that isn't there. And they're not just going to give you one. So learn from my mistakes. 4th and finally, if you are traveling, like I said, this is all still internationally traveling. If you're traveling somewhere where you will not have normal access to your cellular data or your cellular provider, 1, call your phone company to let them know where you're going. And 2, if you're not already planning to pay for the added data, the added hours, text messages, phone calls, whatever, you need to get a free online Wi-Fi related Wi-Fi user app that will allow you to text whoever you need to text, whether it's loved ones or friends to communicate with them. I like WhatsApp just because it's very easy and simple to use, and I'm pretty sure most people use it, but I don't specifically remember how much it was. But I do know it was an absurd amount of money for me to buy minutes, hours, and a certain number. I think I had a cap on how many texts I could send per day when I was traveling to see my sister in Italy. That, for my AT&T provider, was absurdly expensive. So I chose not to do it and I just got WhatsApp. It meant that I had no cellular data when I went to go see my sister in Italy, so I couldn't just text from wherever I was going. I had to ask, say we sat down in a bar at the end of the day, I had to ask the bartender for the Wi-Fi password so that I could text my family to let them know that I made it to the bar safe and then made it home safe. Again, little things to remember because not all of us had parents or sisters or brothers to tell us this. So from one older sister to a younger brother or a younger sister, I got you. This one's already getting really long, so I'm going to try to wrap this up really quick. Safety. One of the most important things to remember going on spring break is safety. You need to look out for yourself. You need to look out for your friends. You need to look out for your loved ones, your significant others if you're going with them, your family members if you're going with them. Always have a buddy system. I don't care where you're going. No one gets in a taxi or an Uber by themselves. Point blank, period. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how close you are. I don't care if it's 2 minutes down the street from the bar to the Airbnb you're staying in. No one gets in a car by themselves. Going off of that, no one walks home by themselves. Thank you. No one should go to the bar by themselves. When it comes to the type of attention people get at bars, my ladies, don't let your girl go to the bar by herself. Please go with her. Please go with her. These bar scenes that you're going to are going to be packed. I don't care where you're going. I don't care if it's Florida, Las Vegas, the Caribbean, Jamaica. That's in the Caribbean. Any of the islands in the Caribbean, every bar scene or club or whatever you're going to be going to are all going to be packed because so many colleges have spring break around the same time. Just don't let anyone go anywhere alone. That's my biggest point. Always have a buddy system. Number 2, whenever you're going into a public place, always make note of all exits and or sit somewhere where you can always see an exit. If you're in a movie theater, if you're in a restaurant, if you're in a store, a coffee shop, a library. I don't know. Some of you might be reading books on your vacation. Wherever you're sitting, always see an exit and always make note of how many exits and how close they are in proximity to you to where you're sitting at all times. You never know when you could need it. This one is probably one of my favorites that has been ingrained into myself and my sister's brains for as long as I can remember. Create a safe word with your friends and family. If you are ever in a situation where you need help or assistance or you feel uncomfortable, whether it's you're going on a date with someone, whether it's you're staying in a bar and someone's talking to you and they won't leave you alone no matter how many hints they give you, or you think someone's following you home, you think the Uber driver or the taxi driver that you're with is being weird, always have a safe word or multiple safe words to mean different things, maybe, with your friends, with your family, so people are always keeping tabs on you. We live in a world where it is very dangerous, 1, to be traveling anywhere alone, but we already covered that. 2, to be a young male, young female in a different country or a different state that you haven't or don't usually live in or don't usually stay in, especially with how chaotic and densely populated it's going to be during these next couple 3 weeks for spring break. Please do yourself the favor and look out for each other and just create the safe word. You never know when you could need it, so it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Remember that. Okay, this one should be self-explanatory, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do not take drinks from strangers. I have personally experienced and been roofied. It is not a fun time. It was quite literally one of the scariest nights of my life. I had lost feeling in half of my body. My friends had to carry me out of a bar. I don't even remember getting drugged. I don't remember half of the night. I barely remember the EMTs checking on me when we got back to my friend's apartment. It's a very scary and very real thing that people go through, and I'm not going to say it's just women. Men and women go through it. One of my guy friends was also roofied. It's a very serious problem. Do not take drinks from anyone. I don't care how flirty they're being with you. I don't care if you want to take them home. I don't care if you think that that's the way to get into someone's life, pants, however you want to see it. It's spring break. I get it. Do not take drinks from strangers. Better yet, if a male or female is offering, it shouldn't be a female, but if a male or female is offering you to buy you a drink, follow them to the bar and watch the bartender pour the drink or open a beer, whatever it is. Watch he or she pay for it and then walk away from the bar. If a random guy is coming up to you, if you're in a club, if you're on a beach, if you're in a restaurant, wherever it is, and someone comes up to you and goes to hand you an open beer, open White Claw, open, if it's a cocktail, it's a Sex on the Beach, and they're handing it to you, it's just a plastic cup. They could have put anything in it between the time that they picked it up from the bartender and walked over to you. I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't have that much faith in people, and I don't trust people that much. Never take an open container or open drink from anyone you don't know. I'm going to be your mom. I'm going to be harsh when I say this. Please, please, please don't do it, because One, getting roofied is not fun. Two, you don't even want to get roofied in a different state or different country because you have no way of contacting anybody if you need to, besides the safe word. That's why we just talked about it. And that's why we talked about not going anywhere alone, because you have to have friends around you at all times to make sure these things don't happen to you. Put a pin in it, save it, remember it, do it. And finally, for safety, probably one of the most important also, which I know I say that every single time, but this one, I genuinely mean it. Always trust your gut. If a situation feels wrong, leave. Always trust your intuition. Always trust your gut. 90% of the time, it's never wrong. It's never wrong. If you're talking to someone at the bar, if you're talking to someone at the beach, and they say one thing that the back of your head maybe goes, that didn't sound right, or I don't know why he or she would say that. And to make you feel better and to make matters better, I'm going to go through a little list of the way your body will show you that something is wrong, because sometimes we all need reminding of it. So, okay, look, I need to remind myself of these things constantly, so I'm going to remind them to you. Here we go. Here's a huge list of things that are the difference between butterflies and having a pit in your stomach, because fun fact, they're not the same thing. Having a pit in your stomach, sweaty or itchy palms, the hairs standing up on the back of your neck, lightheadedness, increased heart rate, stomach aches or stomach problems. For my girlies with digestive issues, this also coincides with that. Sudden changes in weight loss or weight gain, chest pain, and persistent fatigue. If you feel all of those things, just know that there's a difference between having butterflies about someone or about a situation than having a pit in your stomach. Those are very, very, very different things. Always trust your intuition. Always trust your gut. It will never lead you astray. And finally, here are just some random things that I wrote down that didn't really fall under any specific category, but I thought that I should include them anyway. Number one, if you're going somewhere where you're staying and they have a key card for a room key instead of a physical key, anytime you're putting it away, whether if you're a lady and you're keeping it in your purse, if you're a man and you're keeping it in either of your pockets or your back pockets, your phone and your key card should never touch each other. Why? Because your phone, I don't know the physics behind this. I probably will have a physics major explain this to me at some point. Your room key will be demagnetized by your phone when they're touching each other. So I know college students love to have that little pocket on the back of their phone that it's like silicone and it just sticks to the back of their phone. And they put first of all, don't put your ID and all of your cards and your college ID. Don't put all of it. It makes sense. It makes life easier when you're at college and you're walking around campus. When you're going abroad and you're going, whether it's not abroad, I don't even mean different country. If you're going to a different country, different state, I don't care if it's a state over. Don't have everything in that tiny little pocket on the back of your phone. Because if you lose your phone or your phone gets stolen, all of your belongings are stolen with it. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to increase those chances? Don't be stupid. Don't do that. Did I call you stupid? Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll have to replace everything in one try. If you lose your phone or if it gets pickpocketed from you, don't do it. Regardless, going back to what I was saying, if your phone is touching your room key or your room key slid into that pocket on the back of your phone case, it will demagnetize the card. And guess what? When you're sitting, if your phone is sitting in your pocket all day or in your beach bag, wherever it's sitting, and it's just demagnetizing the card all day, and you stumble home and you go to use your room key and it doesn't work, you're going to panic. You're probably going to scream, call your parents, and you're going to say, Mom, Dad, why isn't my key card working? It worked this morning when I came back from yoga. It worked this morning when I came back from bagels and coffee. I don't care. One, your parents aren't going to appreciate that phone call. Two, not every front desk is going to be open all night long. Yeah, typically they are, depending on the size of the resort that you're going to, especially if it's an all-inclusive resort. Some places will not have a front desk that is open all day and all night long. So if your room key doesn't work and you go downstairs to go ask for a copy of another room key, and then all of a sudden the front desk isn't there, and no one's working, all of a sudden you can't get into your room. Now what are you going to do? You're going to sleep outside? You're going to sleep in the hallway? Don't be an animal. Learn from your mistakes. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't allow yourself to make the mistake and put yourself into that position. Thank me later. Number 2, I wrote, be careful when you're bringing valuables or maybe just choose to leave them behind. I've had plenty of friends get pickpocketed. I've had plenty of friends lose things like I just talked about with losing your phone and your wallet and your ID all in one shot because you keep everything in that little pocket in the back of your phone case. I've had friends get things stolen out of beach bags on the beach. Leave really valuable things at home because there's no reason for you to be bringing super valuable things. Jewelry, Louis Vuitton bag, Prada purse, a really nice watch. I don't think you guys have Rolexes, obviously. Some of you might. you know what? Ball off, king or queen, whoever is wearing it. But at the same time, if you have very high valuable things, just leave them at home and don't carry your things with you of high value if you're going to the beach. If you're traveling somewhere out of the country, don't put your passport in your beach bag, for fuck's sake. Don't put your passport or anything else of high value like that has all of your credentials and could easily make it easy for someone with identity theft in their brain to go steal it from you. Don't do it. Leave it in the safe in the room. And actually, going off of what I just said, pickpocketing is very real everywhere you go. So my men, instead of back pockets, keep everything in your front pockets. If you're wearing a watch, don't wear it loose, wear it tight. That way you'll feel it if someone's trying to pick it off your wrist. For my girls, if you are one of those girls that likes the really tiny purses that you just tuck underneath your armpit, that's great. Wear those. If you're someone that likes really long bags, wear it as a crossbody. And when you're wearing it, always have the purse side, instead of behind you, have it facing you. So instead of having it sit on your hip, have it sit more like on your pelvis, if that makes sense, which is a weird way to phrase it, but that's the best way that I can explain it. Instead of having it behind you, because if you're standing in line for something and people who are really good at pickpocketing have very delicate, tiny finger movements, you'll never feel them unzipping something, reaching into your purse and grabbing your keys, some singles or hundreds if you're carrying those, ball out, your phone, your cards, whatever it may be. Always have it swung in front of you instead of swung behind you. And that's it, guys. I'm pretty sure that's everything I have on today's episode. So there you go. That was your checklist. Learn from my mistakes and the things that I wish someone had told me before I jumped into my spring break plans. I hope that you all are very smart with what you're doing. I hope that you all have the best time, take so many videos, take so many pictures. I really wish that I took more videos and photos from my spring breaks. But yeah, especially if you're a senior, oof. Live in it, take it for granted. Again, take so many pictures, so many photos. You will miss these times with your friends because all of a sudden college ends, you all graduate and you all move states or cities or a continent away from each other. And it goes by in the blink of an eye. So utilize it and live it up as much as you can. But also be safe. Also be safe. Be smart and be safe about it. Watch out for your loved ones. Watch out for your friends. But also have a lot of fun. Because if I could go back and do it over again, I absolutely would. So yeah, that's all I have for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on Spotify, smack that download button because it helps way more than you think it does. And if you're watching on YouTube, let's comment a Palm Beach. That's not a word, Morgan. A palm tree emoji. So I know that you guys listened all the way through. And I'll comment right back and see which one of you guys listened all the way far. All the way this far. Oh my goodness, my brain is dying. I have to hop off and go get some food because I'm starving. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful vacation. I love you all. From a big sister to a little sister or little brother, I hope you learned something. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday for another episode. Love ya. See you next time.